eliminating poverty.
To ensure that President Bush won't put his words into action, the debt speculators will need political clout.
The money trail has led us up Pennsylvania Avenue to this building, right up close to George Bush's house.
Sheehan's operation, Debt Advisory International, paid $250,000 a year to this outfit for their political advice and access, until they got into a bit of trouble. These are the offices of Goldfinger's former lobbyists, once the most powerful in Washington, till one of their partners was caught bribing a couple politicians. Jack Abramoff was recently sentenced to 5 years in prison for the bribery. His partners at the firm of Greenberg Traurig used more traditional legal means to stay tight with President Bush and Republican power brokers.
Well, the White House is just on the other side of this park.
You ever get over there?
Yeah, absolutely. These are the agencies and places we have to go to help our clients do what they want to do.
And many others besides Goldfinger and crew were doing it. Preying on third world debt is a global industry with dozens of players worth hunting.
I've decided to get out of town because I've heard there's an even bigger flock of vultures up north.
Here in New York City. One hot dog, please.
Welcome to the Empire State, home of the World Trade, home of Biggie Smalls, Rockefeller headquarters. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm a BK brother.
Here, they are feeding on poor nations all over the globe.
36th floor, Elliott Associates, home of billionaire Paul Singer. Singer practically invented the Vulture Fund. In 1996, he bought up some of Peru's debt for $11 million, then threatened to bankrupt Peru if they didn't give him $58 million. He got his $58 million.
Then Singer bought some discounted debt from Congo Brazzaville for only about $10 million. His company then sued Congo and turned the $10 million into $127 million. But that still wasn't enough.
I'm right here, in fact, at 712 Fifth Avenue. Okay, is there any time or any place where I can meet with Mr. Singer? Absolutely no way ever?
Singer's company says the Congo government is corrupt and hid assets from creditors. Courts have agreed, allowing Singer to seek triple damages under U.S. racketeering law. They could get $400 million. Not bad for a $10 million bet. Congo was counting on George Bush to use his legal authority to stop Singer's court action. That hasn't happened.
Paul Singer is the #1 donor to George Bush and the Republican cause in New York City. In the run-up to the 2000 election, he gave them $300,000. In 2004, he gave them $1.2 million, including money for the so-called Swift Boat campaign, which smeared the war record of George Bush's opponent.
His spokesman told us, "We have nothing to hide. We just don't do interviews."
Back in London, in this courthouse, the government of Zambia alleges that Goldfinger paid a bribe, $2 million to the previous president of Zambia to make sure they'd collect. And we've obtained this email. It says that they will collect more money from Zambia in return for a donation to, quote, the president's favorite charity.
President at the time was Frederick Chaluba. He's now on trial on wide-ranging charges of corruption. As it happens, Goldfinger's old lobbyists are also experts on bribery law, the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act.
Even for a charitable organization, you simply can't offer something of that value to a foreign official with the understanding you're going to get something in return.
You can't say, we'll give the money to the charity, you give us a better deal on our agreements.
Yeah, that's going to be a problem.
Jail time?
Hopefully not, but you're certainly, if you're found out and the government can prove that case, you're looking at multi-million-dollar fines for the company for sure.
We showed him the email. He hadn't seen it before.
We were looking at this. This deal is going to get done for political reasons because we are going to discount a bunch of whatever to get to the president's favorite charity. Would that make you nervous if your client wrote that?
Extremely. Extremely.
Mr. Sheehan says it wasn't a bribe. They were only trying to help the Zambian people.
we offered to donate debt to a low-income housing initiative, which was a charitable initiative, which did end up building over several thousand houses for the poor. You're contorting the facts. You're on my property, and I would ask you to step off.
We showed this to the current president's advisor. He was not impressed.
When you are talking about any amount, $40 million or thereabout, to be paid to service some unfair debt, you are talking about in excess of 300,000 children being prevented from going to school.
Bribery or not, donation or payoff, British courts are only concerned with legal technicalities, not moral verities.
Zambia doesn't stand a chance. That's another $40 million for the speculators. And the debt relief that was meant for the poorest people on the planet, that will now go to feed the vultures. Does Zambia stand a chance? If they lose, that would be another $40 million for the speculators. And the debt relief meant for the poorest people on the planet would just go to feed the vultures.